Powerful. So, I'm here with
DJ Cotlow.
David Cotlow. Do you prefer DJ or
It's
David?
DJ. It's actually David Jr. My dad's a David, so everyone calls me David at all the events.
Okay.
But I'm not actually David. I'm DJ. So,
Oh, okay.
So now you have the information. Now you can actually call me DJ.
So now I know. Yeah.
And everyone else, if you're listening, call me DJ.
DJ. No longer no more David.
No more David. You can, but it's not normal to me. It's like hearing somebody call you something else you're not used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you're, I don't know what you want to say, like, I guess enemy of the sport, right?
And you could say AWU is now an enemy. It's become more of an enemy lately too. So it kind of started as sort of an enemy, and I think in the last 2 months it's become a big enemy.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be as a big enemy now that we had a good event. Maybe we'll take some of the traction off that.
No, I think the event was great.
Yeah.
I think everything was smooth. I don't think there was any conflicts or anything.
No.
Everybody was super cordial. And like a lot of the guys that you thought maybe would not be so cool, they all turned out to be super cool dudes.
So who are those guys? Can you give any your own reflections?
Well, you know, the guys that are a little bit weirder in the chat, right?
Yeah.
And you see them in person, and they're just normal dudes,
Yeah.
right? People are just playing it up, obviously, right?
And even myself, I played up too because I want to have a good event. I want to have good build up to the event. So I even provoke and prompt and get guys to create this kind of friction. But in person, it's really never the same as it was.
What's the hot drama? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what can we manifest right now to get people fighting to have a good event? Because you saw little Popeye and Yak had some back and forth, and that drama was actually a pretty good match. Like, it was fun to watch, right?
Yeah, it was good.
When there's no drama, it's still a good match, but it's not the same impact, at least from my viewpoint.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think having a bit of a build up and having a bit of a story before the matches, I think it makes arm wrestling in general more interesting, right? Because like sometimes, again, if somebody just gets flashed 3 times, match could be over in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
That first match, Tillman versus Tucker, was literally like 4 or 5 minutes. It was over quick. It was 3 flashes over and done, and it was cool to watch. But I was like, I want to see more. Like I want back and forth and drama and all this stuff. So
I think the build up in arm wrestling, I think, is just as important as the actual event, in my opinion, anyways. So tell me, how did you come up with the whole AWU concept?
Yeah.
What got you into arm wrestling? Like, what's the origin story?
So probably the story you hear all the time from everyone else is, went on YouTube late one night. I was big into like strongman, MMA, all kind of combative things. And I was just looking up arm wrestling one night and came across, of course, like everyone else, the Devin Larrett video, Wall, when he was back at 220, watching him pull, and like, that's really cool. Like, I could do stuff like that. It's like, I'll go to the gym and just try that stuff. I'll go buy a cupping handle and do cupping lifts. And, of course, I look like a fool at the gym, like going like this and this. And
yeah, people ask all the time when I bring some stuff in. Yeah. People ask what it is, right? Because it's way different.
Yeah, I bought a Mazarenko handle, and I used to put it on a loading pin and just kind of lift it up like this and work my wrist. And I looked like a fool, but my cup actually got pretty good because I did it for like 9 months. So whenever I first started arm wrestling, like, you have a pretty good cup. So I got into it based on videos, mainly Devin Larrett, Wall. And then I found local groups in town. So that's how I got into arm wrestling. And then I found, of course, on Facebook, arm wrestling pages. Arm wrestling discussion was the big one at the time, which died. And so I joined that page, and of course, trolling a little bit on there, and got banned. And I said, oh man. And then I heard someone else say, you got banned. Why is everyone banning? Why isn't there a cooler place to hang out? Let's create one that doesn't ban. Arm-Wrestling Uncensored. That's how it became a thing. And the whole premise was you can do whatever you want as long as you do it from a real account.
Yeah.
So as long as you're Matthias and I'm DJ and we're being ourselves, you control all you want as long as you're on your real account. That's how it formed and started off. And people loved it from the beginning.
Yeah. No, I bet. Well, how many people are in the group right now? Do you know?
It's not that big now. It was 1,700, but at the peak it was over 10,000. I don't know the story, but it died once. It got resurrected. It got back up to 8,000, died again. So it's on its 3rd iteration.
Yeah. So I know a little bit. You want to tell me what happened there?
Like, so step 1, it died. I'm sure people listening to you remember Grant Diet. Grant Diet was a hilarious troll. I mean, I thought he was hilarious. He actually arm wrestled too. He, at one point, released a picture. It was like a thumb, but had a penis head on the end of it. And somehow it got posted in some way, and the page got removed. So that was the first killing of the page, and that was at 10,000. And then, I used to try to get more members, and what I would do is I would post content that was popular. So I used to rip East versus West videos and repost clips of them. Well, of course, whoever the owner is of that, or Core Sports, I think it was at the time, filed a copyright restriction and killed the page the second time. So
Well, say copyright strike stuff on Facebook.
yeah, I was posting like a lot of it'd be like going on Engen's stream and screen recording certain matches and then reposting 15-second clips.
Okay.
Well, those clips were getting shared out to like tons and tons of pages because people reshare stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people eventually see it. So I killed it the second time. So Grant Diet, the first death, me the second death. Cause I took, and then the third time now is Andrew Yakumovich kind of kept it going. And it's not very big now, like it was.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a page to share stuff with now. So I lost a little bit of motivation getting a page killed twice. It'd probably be, maybe one of the biggest ones today if it was not killed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, it'll grow again, I think.
It will. I think it will, yeah, but I think it's got a little bit of stigma now. Like the people who started with it at the beginning loved it. All the big pros loved it too.
Yeah.
You had guys like, Ron Bath and even Devin had shirts and Pork Chop and all these guys were like Arm-Wrestling Uncensored, and it was like Arm-Wrestling Uncensored. Now it's like Arm-Wrestling, yeah, it's like not like it's cool anymore. It's kind of like, it's this kind of stigma group. I'm not saying it can't rise again, but you need people who come to events like yourself and go back, I had a great time, there's cool people, and then okay, I'll look at that again. So it rises and falls, but I think the people who know it truly know it's like a cool thing.
Yeah, no, I think the event on Saturday, I think it was a lot of fun. I would say it probably wasn't like the biggest arm wrestling event I've been to.
Yep.
But it's definitely one of the ones I had the most fun at. Like everything was good, everybody was drinking, everybody was getting along. And the good thing is you guys had lots of tables to after pull and for guys to pull with while the actual main. I think you guys had 4 additional tables there. Yeah. And that's good. Like a lot of events, you see only the 2 tables there, and then there's no tables for anybody else to mess around with. Like, I think it kills a little bit of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm talking to guys, a lot of guys say they actually prefer the super match format. I heard Austin saying, I like going there and just pulling super matches and hanging out with people. And sometimes tournaments are it's very pressure and you wait a long time and you pull and you can wait a long time. So I think that format was good. I would agree with you. This year, weather was not as good.
Weather was terrible.
Yeah. Not good. Not good is an understatement. It was horrible weather.
Yeah.
But I think people always have fun at the events because it's kind of like you hang out together Friday, you have fun. You go to the event, you pull, you have fun. You go to an after party, you have fun. Like it's kind of like camaraderie. Like people feel almost like it's a fraternity, almost of friends. It's pull on the side too. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of people there that I've never met in person. Mm-hmm. But then when you go there and you kind of recognize the faces, and you put the faces to the trash talk and stuff, and you feel like you know the people, right? Yeah. So even when we went to the after party, like people didn't really know each other, but everybody they did know each other, right? Even though they never met, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you kind of know this character, this person indirectly. Yeah. It's always good to meet them now because now it's like a tighter bond.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you came back again, you'd probably feel like slide right in again because I know these guys now. And
I'm definitely If I can afford to come down to the next one, for sure I'm going to. Yeah, no, I think it was awesome, and I need to get some revenge too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some easier matches now.
Well, no, I'm okay with pulling up the way that I did. I think the match with Austin, I think it was a little bit closer than it looked. Mm-hmm. It's just, guys, he's too good. He's fast. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, you and I worked afterwards, and when you get that one move in, you felt super, super strong. Just you said it's hard to set that with him. And the one round you did, you said it was...
He lifted his elbow. I think they called elbow foul on me after he lifted. Look at this guy. Yeah. But anyways, it didn't make a difference. Yeah. But yeah, no, my left... I'm actually not bad. My biggest problem is I'm just too slow out of the gate. Mm-hmm. Like I don't react super fast. Oh, was that my phone?
That's me.
Oh, it's you. Okay, good. But I just react too slow out of the gate. So I'm always a little bit behind. And 90% of my matches, I don't start until I'm like here. Mm-hmm. Versus with a guy like Austin, who's super super fast. Like that starting here turned out to be like at the pin pad pretty much by the time.
He's watching that ref like he's waiting, just waiting.
Boom! Oh yeah,
he's watching that for the second to go.
Yeah, but he said he would hook me.
He didn't do it.
He did. No. Yeah. But other than that, all the other matches were pretty awesome too, right? Like there was that. Who were the 2 guys? The guy who had the black hat on.
When did he go? When was that idea of that match? Like,
it was near the end. Those guys went forever. I feel like that was the longest match.
Oh yeah, that was Ryan Carter and Danny Al-Sharif. That was they went with the press. He kept trying to press Ryan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that match went I bet an hour. I mean, those guys were at the table forever. I mean, Ryan Carter, who's number 1, 220 Texas. I mean, his whole face was sweating. I know he was sick before. He had some sickness stuff, but that match was a grinder. Those guys both were just round after round and elbow fouls and they get close and.
Yeah, because I think my other match was after that, and I thought they were done like 3 times. So I walked to the table because they called me like, no, it's still going. I'm like, what is happening right now? This is the longest match here.
And you pulled. I had to leave. But you had to pull. I had to come back. But you pulled Popeye, right? Senior Popeye.
Yeah. So they.
I knew the curveball came. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know what? So what happened there is you were saying like, oh, you can pull Popeye, like junior or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine, let's do that. And I told him, I was like, and then they're both there, junior and senior. I told him, I was like, all right, my right's like not good, like I'm injured. So like if it's not too close, I was like, you know, if you guys are way stronger than me,
flip flop or something.
Just don't hit crazy hard out of the gate. You know what I mean? Please. And they're like, oh yeah, cool, no problem. And then they kind of went and talked, and they came back with, actually, you're gonna pull my dad now. And I'm like, what is going on here? Why are you doing like? What's
you got screwed all weekend. Like you had your opponent didn't show up. You got a new opponent, and this opponent.
Yeah. But then they switched that, and I was like, what the hell? Why would they do that? And then somebody came up to me. He's like, oh yeah, you know, Popeye. So he's like an IFA world champ or something. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, why? Like, I'm just some bum from Canada. So then what ended up happening is right out of the gate, I could feel that my right's just not, it wasn't good enough to be able to stop him.
He's a fast and pretty hard hit.
Yeah, and he hit like super hard. And I was like, okay, the first one, I get it, you know what I mean? Like, you want to test it, but it's like, you know now that you can hit super hard. So I told him, I was like, please, just don't rip my shit open. Like, I'm already injured. And then second time, he just doesn't do it again. And then Austin was like, tag me in. And I was like, all right, Austin, you go get him. What is this?
He's got actually a good hit. He kind of loads real hard and then he boom. But if you can stop his hit, he's not as powerful there.
Yeah, I think next time, you know what? If he's willing to pull left, I'll do. I'd like to do Popeye Senior left and then Popeye Junior right.
That's a good one.
Eh?
Yeah.
Popeye Slayer. Let's go.
His son actually confirmed the match with you, but he told me, he's like, watch, there's going to be a curveball come in. That was the curveball. I didn't even know what was happening, but they must have.
Yeah, the Texas screw job.
It's in the last minute. Yeah, exactly.
But no, so other than the event, like, other than a couple hiccups here and there, I think do you have the raw footage of the stream?
I do. I should have it. Yeah. I mean, so that was another concern of mine or issue happened is that the stream quality was not very good. I didn't notice it until afterwards.
Yeah.
It was
internet was bad.
It's the internet. It was fast while it was there on a fast stream. You know, they check all the speed, but I guess when either two people get on or whatever happens with the rain, maybe. But that was one of my kind of regrets is that we did all this good footage and stuff, and then you go back and watch it, you're like, man, I can barely see that match.
Yeah, so if you have the raw footage, I'm sure if you reposted some of the raw stuff, like people would check those out for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if you want to take the time and like even clip the matches and whatnot. Because I know people were asking to see some of them, and I had a couple of friends of mine that wanted to see the matches that I had, and I sent them the link to it, the timestamp. And they're like, I can barely see it. Like, I know, but some of the other ones were better though.
I know. If you watched the beginning of the stream, it was actually pretty clear. I was watching it back, and there's other parts where like, oh, that's like barely can see. It's like pixelated.
So I think it was. So is it wireless that they had?
It was wireless, but on my computer, it was registering super fast, which is weird, like 60 megabytes and all this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was. I think when it rained harder, it got worse. But overall, the stream to me was a fail. I mean, I would have. Next time, I don't know if you bring in a dedicated, Starlink, or you have to get like a wired connection or what you do. But yeah, that was
Yeah, it's tough because when the weather goes bad like that, it could be anywhere, right? It could be another point in between somewhere, not necessarily at the event that's being wirelessly transmitted out, and the rain kind of disrupted that.
And then we also had East versus West being live streamed on the TV. Not that help, mess with the bandwidth of having two streams going plus cameras.
Yeah, that probably didn't help.
Probably not exactly. So there's a lot of factors there, but the good news is that Alex Toprol got most of the matches, and he will be releasing that footage in 4K for people to watch.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But I agree with you.
So he's gonna release that in like
he told me
week or two.
I don't know if he told you, but he told me roughly 5 days to a week.
Okay,
it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And he told Andrew Yakimovich that he would be releasing raw footage too.
Okay.
Because it usually makes like a 20-30 minute video.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming all those matches wouldn't be a 30-minute video unless you put in, other stuff. So we'll see, but it'll be good.
Yeah, well, I'm sure if he was walking around, maybe he's filming people and getting some,
like crowd shots and
some B-roll footage, whatever.
Yeah. Damon pinning people, so.
Yeah, well, you know what, Damon did good this year.
He did good, yeah. That was the thing about Damon is you have to match him up properly. I think historically he's been matched up improperly. Not like you. Don't feed guys like this. Feed them somewhere that's more competitive where they can win because it makes it better for everybody. I think so. I think that's what will be good for him this year. Yeah,
no, I think it was good. I didn't see his first match, but I saw the match that he had against Austin's girlfriend, the two-handed one.
Yeah.
That's what people girl versus guy, people will shit on or whatever. Yeah. But like anybody who's got two hands on
it's hard. Yeah,
it's hard. That's hard.
And I saw practice videos of her doing that to stronger people, and she was actually holding them. So I don't know if she didn't get a good grip or what happened, but he went through 2 arms, which is, like I said, it's hard. Even my kid could probably hold me with 2 arms.
Yeah.
Whatever it was good. And then the other guy he beat, isn't like a top arm wrestler or anything, but still, Damon handled it pretty quick. I don't know if you saw, but he just hooked him and hooked him.
I missed that match. I didn't get a chance to see it.
So anyway, it'll be on video because Alex Topol was like, I'm getting that match.
Yeah.
So Damon was the big winner this weekend. He didn't have to spend any money and got full treatment.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, you were worried that he wasn't going to make it to the end, right?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing is he put money up to get people here, and then if they don't show. So luckily he got here, but we didn't get all his money when he got here, but it's fine.
Yeah,
it's still a win.
Well, he was at the after party too. Yeah, he fell asleep pretty early. Like I think when I got there, I think he was already out because everybody's like, oh, David's here, woo! He's just laying on the couch.
I saw the picture of him like this and like a blanket, his shirt's all tucked in together. Yeah, it's hilarious.
No, I think he woke up. I think when I was leaving, I just talked to him for a minute.
Yeah, Damon's a super nice guy. People always give him shit, side pressure, this and that. He's a real nice guy, but the thing with him is he had no plan in place. No one to pick him up from the airport, no ride to the hotel, nothing for food, nothing for paying entrance fees, nothing to get. He had no plan and everything works out. Like, it's almost like he's like either a genius or he's is this guy this smart where everyone will do everything, or do people feel sorry for him like, I gotta give you a ride? Because people work both ways for him.
Yeah. Well, I think it worked out. I think he got to the airport again.
He did.
No problem.
He took 3 or 4 buses, but he made it.
Yeah, I feel bad because I think he'd messaged me on Facebook, but I'd already left, I think, at that time. So I wasn't here anymore.
Yeah, you had already gone to the with Alex. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I was at the same hotel, and I guess after you picked him up, Damon then said, I need a ride, but you're probably halfway to NASA then. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we checked out the NASA museum, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, we did that, got some food, and then, we pretty much had to rush off to the airport right after.
Yeah, you're all over town. I mean, you're way out there.
Yeah, and I don't know what the deal was, but, like, the airport, like, the main road, like, leading into it, it was completely gridlocked.
There's a lot of construction over there right now.
There was something else that, like, there was an accident or something because we saw some fire trucks, like, try to blast by and whatnot. So there was something that happened, but I guess whatever way that I took, we didn't see what the accident or whatever it was. So I had to end up dropping him off at the terminal before his terminal.
He's put like a train or something inside.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It was, but it's the only way. Otherwise, he was not going to make his flight, unfortunately. Yeah.
Another guy defeated by the terminal.
Yeah.
Terminal took out. No, everyone got past terminal this year. It was impressive. Usually people fail at some point. One guy will like have a problem, so it's good.
Yeah, well, that was me, I think. That was me, right? Because they lost my luggage.
Yes.
And then the next day, I had to thank God my wife was kind of on the ball. Like, she was calling him and trying to figure things out. Because one of my bags, they said it was delayed. And then the other bag, if you went to the tracking in the app, it said, like, not found. Mm-hmm. And that was the bag with, like, all my equipment in it. And I'm like, please, don't lose
this wouldn't be happening right now.
No,
good job.
Yeah, maybe it would be
shout out to the airlines, whoever that is. Or maybe not. I don't know if it's a shout out or a good thing or a bad thing, but
Well, it was two girls at the Air Canada check-in. Like, they went and they were able to find both of them. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much.
That's lucky because a lot of them doesn't happen that quick. Usually the bag's gone for 3-4 days, and you might get it back.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Like, I think it was my parents. They lost a bag and then they had it shipped to them like months later.
So tip for y'all listening is put an AirTag tracker in your bags. You know about these?
I've heard.
Yeah. You just throw them in there and they check your phone. You can track everything where it is. I have one in my wallet.
So you know what the problem with those is though? I've heard stories of people dealing with, I think WestJet in like Toronto, and there was a lady who knew where her bag was. She had the AirTag, and she knew, she was like, yeah, it's in that like storage building, and they would not go get her bag.
So it could be, it gets good that you can find it, but then you can't get it.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I don't know what the deal with the airports is, whereas like they just don't care. Yeah. But it's like, you should care.
Anytime we do a check on bag, which not anymore, hardly at all, we put an AirTag in there. They'll actually tell you it's below this, it's here and there. So it's at least good from that standpoint, but maybe just don't put your bag when you need it. But at least you know it's secure somewhere, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So what's the range of the AirTags?
It's far. I mean, it'll go, you can actually put on your phone, you can click in, it'll say 20 feet away, 10 feet away. But bad news is people use them for like trafficking now. They'll throw them in kids' backpacks. So everything is good turns into a bad thing too. Okay. Like there's a baseball field right around the corner from here where you are, and they were having people where they're throwing them in kids' bags, and then they want to follow the kids home and find out where they work. It's just it's like they're looking at a quarter, big as a quarter, and maybe as thick as like something half inch, but
Okay, so super. So I've never actually seen one.
I'll show you one.
Okay, yeah.
So I put one in my wallet because
Smart.
Like, where the hell is your wallet? I was like, I don't know. So all it is looks like a little quarter.
Okay, so these are, oh my god.
That's all it is. Yeah.
It's like a backgammon chip.
Yeah, and
right?
it syncs up to your phone like a
Bluetooth.
And then what you do is you just, that's probably good for a couple of years, that battery.
Really?
And then if I leave my wallet in my car and go to the gym, I'll say your wallet's left behind. And then if I want to find it, you can ping the tag and I'll say it's 30 feet away, it's 40 feet away. It's like hot or colder type thing.
Does it work with Android phones too, or just Apple?
I don't know. That's a good question. But, I was losing my wallet all the time, and then I put one in there. You put it on your keys, like a key ring.
Yeah.
Maybe next time you travel, throw one in there if you can. Not that expensive. You can get 3 for like $40 or something. Yeah.
Okay, that's super reasonable. Yeah, especially if you're saying like, can you replace the batteries?
Yeah. It twists off in the battery. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd recommend it for people traveling or trafficking or whatever you.
Trafficking.
Whatever you want to do. No, for things you lose, it's good to put on there for that reason.
So if you're again, because I think I understand the way that the networking works. It like connects to all iPhones or something like that, right? So like if your iPhones connect like. Detecting an AirTag, does it tell you?
Yeah, it'll tell me like I walk by, like your AirTag is nearby, or it's too.
I mean other people's AirTags.
Oh no, it's almost like a Bluetooth, like your headphones. Like it wouldn't pick up your headphones, it'll pick up mine though. So I think it's like unique to the specific one based on your phone connection. Don't quote me on that, but that's my understanding.
Yeah. Well, the way I understand it is like if it's near another iPhone, that iPhone will transmit the location of it.
Oof, I don't know.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but. They're very cool. I mean, it's good to have if you need it. Anyway, the whole thing was your bag got lost. I put it in our bags now. When we check bags, because of this reason that if it gets maybe show up in Canada or somewhere right now, I'm like, oh, I know where my bag is at least.
Yeah, I did lose one thing though.
My bag. Your lock, right? They cut your lock.
Well, they cut the lock off the bag, and I think I know why. Like I have a tool in there that if you were to look at it on an X-ray machine, it probably looks like a switchblade, but it's not. It's just like a little Gerber multi-tool thing. But it looks like they took my my arm wrestling strap. I have like a camel one that Devin gave me.
Oh no, come on guys.
I know. They took it. I don't know. Or maybe it fell out when they opened, didn't notice it. But it looked like somebody was eating a sandwich when they opened my bag.
Like there's
sandwich crumbs.
Oh,
there's crumbs. Like there's breadcrumbs all over the top of my clothes. And I was going through stuff to make sure everything was there, and I noticed that my strap was.
Was it like a no limit strap? Was there anything that would make it nose from Devin or?
No, it was just he had a military friend of his make a bunch, and they're just like camo looking ones, and I believe they're just made out of like a military box strap or something.
I wonder why somebody would want that. Like, what would draw somebody to take that? Unless they thought it was some kind of safety thing.
I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm a little sad.
Yeah, until Devin can be another one.
I'm sure he would too. If I bought him for it. But yeah, so back to like arm wrestling stuff. So you found out about arm wrestling, I guess, like 2020, you're saying?
I would say before that. I'd say probably 2017, 18. Like
okay, so pre-COVID.
Yeah, when was Wall? When was Devin competing in Wall? And when he beat Barbosa, when he beat... it's been many years, but he beat, I think, Matt Mask left-handed. Like, it was back when Devin was... Well, it was back before East vs. West, King of the Table. Maybe, before COVID. Maybe a year or two before that, or maybe 3 years before.
Okay, so quite a while.
Yeah. But I didn't start touching any equipment or anything probably for 2 years. I was like, oh, this is cool, but...
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the progression. You find out about it, and you're like, I'll try some of that, and then I'll try to find there's a club, then I'll try to do this, so it kind of progressed. And then I went the other way where I didn't really arm wrestle much anymore. I was like, I'll just promote, because guys... It seems like a lot of guys want to compete, but they don't want to do the other stuff. And for me, I'm like, I like hanging out and putting all this stuff together. Yeah. You need people on both sides, right?
So do you still train at a club or anything at all?
No, not really. I mean, now like my life is busy. I got kids and soccer on the weekends, and not saying I couldn't, but it consumes a lot of time for me. At least it did at the time, and so I don't do as much as I used to. But I stay in touch with all the guys, and chat with them and what's up, and they ping, when's the next event? When's this happening? I'm like, I don't want to do it, but maybe. They kind of keep me warm. Like, and I say Andrew Yakimovich is the best of that. He's like, just throw an event and I'll come down. I'm like, I'll do a little bit. And then my problem is once I start, I can't stop. I'm like, I don't have a shitty event. I want to like do more. So let me do this and do this. And before I know it, it's like out of control.
So the first AWU event, when did that happen?
It's kind of like 3 years ago. Yeah. And it all started with Derek Smith came down to his seminar.
Okay.
So he came down and we had like 8 super matches, and we had the seminar before, or was after. It's 8 super matches first, and we had a seminar after.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago, and it was a banner and a table and 8 guys, whatever it was, very basic.
So what made you want to do the actual event though? Like, what made you want to switch to like promoting?
Yeah, so I think that we did the first event, and also if you notice, most promoters aren't the best arm wrestlers. Like I'm okay, but I don't train that hard anymore. And so I'm like, I can do this better than a lot of people.
Well, your wrist and hand are good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I do go to the gym a lot. Like I curl into all this stuff like that, but I don't train enough where like my elbow popped on Saturday. Like, cause probably I push hard when I do it, and I don't train a lot. So that's not a good thing to do. Is push hard as you can, but not train a whole lot. Because sometimes happens. But to answer your question,
that was Friday that happened.
Yeah, Friday. I went to a hook with John McCool and. It didn't hurt that bad, but when I heard it pop, anyhow, I get my mentally, I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I sandbagged on Friday like crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't get.
I was like,
I saw Austin was going hard. I'm not.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. And for me, like, I wanted to go hard, but the next thing I was, I'm like, if I blow my arm out and do something bad, it's not going to be good for everything else. But anyway, I just started promoting, so I think I like a lot of the guys. They're fun. I like doing the events. I like the build. The build-up's mainly the main thing. I like the whole, like, the climb to it, like, guys talking crap, guys getting excited, people coming in now, and then doing the event, and then it's kind of like afterwards, a little bit of a crash, like, oh, it's over now, like it's back to reality. It's almost like you had this big thing, and then this, and then I'll do something else for a while, and then some people start bugging me in 6 months. Hey, when's the next event? What are we doing? Da, da, da. But the good news is I see is by doing this, there's other guys who want to do promotional events now. And if you saw like. Yeah, I was like, I want to do an event in May now, and it's good. It's like almost infectious that people like it. And like, how can I do the next thing?
Yeah. Well, I think Andrew wants to throw.
Yeah, he does.
Nova Scotia,
and then Little Pop wants to do one in May. I don't know if you saw that. Little Pop says in May he's going to do another one too.
Okay, whereabouts?
Here in town somewhere. He's already got a venue locked in. So if 2 events can come out of doing one event, that's good because now other people start doing it. And longer term for me is I'd like to not run the whole event. I like to contribute to it. Like I'll do a live stream or something. Like I'll take a piece of that. But doing all of it's tricky. Like I was running the music, I was doing the camera, I was like doing, trying to figure out this, doing the announcements.
No, you can just collect the franchise fee.
Yeah. or like I'll help you with your event, but I don't want to do everything because I don't get to enjoy it as much for myself because I'm like, oh crap, I forgot about this. What about this? Is this happening? And I didn't drink 1 beer because I was just thinking about all the stuff. So
no, like
you promote too. Like you do the same thing. Like you're trying to get everything working, all your cameras.
I don't do the promotion side of things, but a lot of the production side of things. So I help a bunch of guys with the production. Like I've worked with the like Arm-Wrestling guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work with Ian on the Mac events. But yeah, like when you're handling...
Brain's probably different in space though, right? Like you're not...
You don't enjoy the event as
correct,
much.
Yeah, that's how I am a little bit.
Yeah. Because I find when you're doing all the production stuff, you're so focused on like, making sure the audio is good, making sure the camera guys are in the right spot. And then you like, I feel like I'm watching the matches to make sure that, the screens are being switched to the right angles and whatnot. But then when the whole event's over, I don't remember anything. I don't remember who won. I don't remember nothing. People ask me like, oh, my match is awesome. I was like, well, I know it was awesome. But I have to watch it again because I have so many other things going on. It just doesn't register. Right?
And every year I always tell myself I'm not going to do as much. Like last AWU, I was like, all I'm going to do is film guys' matches. But I spent all my time filming, like, and I didn't get to enjoy as much. And this year, I want to make sure like the walkout worked with the music and timing, and that like this was happening. So my brain was more focused on not the whole time, but maybe 40% of the time I'm like making sure everything's working.
Yeah,
it's just a different headspace. It'd be fun to kind of go and just hang out and have a good time and maybe do a little bit.
Yeah,
but I still had fun. But I was like, oh, you didn't come drink. I'm like, yeah. I was thinking about like, was the stream working properly? Can people read the comments? Like it's more about like almost like a work type mentality.
Yeah.
So
I guess once the event's over and you can shut everything off, then you can have a
now I'm like I'm relaxed again. Now I'm thinking about like, oh, do I get all the Ari's numbers in? Is Alex going to get the stuff in? Do I get all the pictures uploaded? And once all that's in place, then people can go enjoy all that. But also for myself, then I can kind of decompress too. And I'm not stressed about it. But it's more of like my mindset's different than like now the next guy do his thing. Let me jump on them and help promote them, make flyers, whatever they need.
So I guess ultimately then, sorry, what's your big vision? I guess grand vision for like AWU.
I mean, for me, honestly, like I would like for somebody, and I don't know if you saw this, I offered Clinton Pickering AWU if he won all his matches. So I tried to throw out these challenges to guys. Bruce, Alexis, who was there, who had the hats. I said, if you win this, I'll give you this. So I try to throw these kind of things out to guys and let them take over. But I'd like to have somebody, take it and run pieces of it, like Andrew run the 5.5 or Little Pop, and let the name or the brand still go on, but not like me kind of be the owner. Like I don't mind doing it, but I don't foresee myself. I'm not really an arm wrestler as much anymore. Yeah. But let somebody else grab it. It's like when a business gets acquired, right? Like you've taken it so far, let someone else grab it and take it if they want to. But there's a lot of stigmas with taking on AW, right? Like, oh, you run this organization that's quote unquote this or that, and A lot of guys don't want that. And a lot of guys also don't want to work. I hate to say that, it's the truth. A lot of guys want to just arm wrestle and that's it. And
well, that's the fun part, right?
Yeah,
That's the fun part.
Yeah, of course. Like, I want to show up, I want to get medals, I want to arm wrestle, I want to leave. I don't want to have to do all the cleanup and this and this and that. So it's hard to find people who want to do that. So shout out to all the promoters out there who actually work hard, because it's a lot of work to do things properly, right? It's not really a glorious job. It's not like you get...
Yeah. I guess going back to the stigma side of things.
Yeah.
So originally with this event, Paul Italia was involved.
Yes.
Right? And I guess the whole thing was he was going to promote the event, and, I guess something happened and that fell through. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, sure. Anything you want to talk about. So Paul actually came to AWU 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 4, the last one, because he saw some good matches on there and he wanted to come out. So I got him a hotel room. That's all the deal was, is I'll pay the hotel. He does everything else. So he came out, promoted the event. Nunya was there. He had the big match with Nunya, so he wanted to come out and see that. No issues, all good. And then this year, he wanted to come to the event again, AWU 5. And I was like, well, Paul has a channel. He has a following. I'm not opposed to it at all. I mean, I was for it. And I saw him, and Paul wanted some money though. He said, I didn't have this much money. I said, well, I'm not going to pay you, but why don't you ask the pullers arrange some kind of thing where they pay you money, but you in turn hype them up. And so he's like, oh, I like that idea. So he started talking to guys on the main card, $50 from you, $50 from you. And then he started turning into this whole Paul's side card, and Paul's going to do this. And then Paul started saying, well, I need you to do help me do the live stream. I need you to do this and this. I'm like, yeah, man, but I'm not getting paid, because every match that Paul had took money out of my pocket, went in his pocket, which, okay, that's fine. But also, if I'm going to lose money and I have to help you promote and all do this stuff. So me and him, it wasn't bad, but I was starting to feel like this is not great. And then I think people took it too far with the whole Paul side card as a joke. And then you had people who were bothering Paul, they were going to say, what about this? What about that? And Paul wants to come and chill and hang out and make some money. He doesn't want to work. You don't want to work essentially with all the drama. With AWU, there's a lot of drama and stuff, and you got to deal with characters. I think he said, this is not worth my time. So he said no, but the original intent of bringing him was, one is to heighten the pullers who were pulling, and then also he brings in a lot of crowd. So there were some big names who were going to come if Paul came. I know Greg Brown, which is an MC, Freddie Sanchez. There's talks about Mikey Olivia, Sarah Bachman. So Paul coming would have definitely added value to the event. Yeah. So when he dropped out, I figured I'll bring in Alex Toproll, which will be big for the card, but also for everyone who's pulling, so they'll get the exposure.
Yeah, so we'll get to meet Alex. He's a cool dude and stuff too. Yeah.
So but to me, I don't have any bad blood with Paul directly. We don't have a beef. I just think sometimes, he manipulates things a little bit, but it's fine at the end of the day. It all worked out. Yeah. I don't have any bad blood there.
So do you think that relationship is salvageable?
I mean, for me, it's fine. I think Paul has a bad stigma with AWU, and he doesn't love the group now, and he feels like a lot of people were out to get him and this and that. But Paul blocked me for 9 months, and then Paul was cool with me again for this event. So it's hot and cold. And people change when things are beneficial for them, right? Everyone says, "Oh, there's an opportunity for me. I'll be your buddy there," and I think sometimes that can happen. Or if you can help me, then I'll bring you back into my circle. Yeah. But to answer your question, I'm sure we could be if there was need. But I mean, really, a lot of people in AW don't like him either. So he's probably want to come to a place where he's not really
you know what? I think that's just online. I think because I met Paul in person.
Yeah, he's fine. I met him before.
Super cool.
Yeah, he's fine. He's cool. He was cool at AWU 4. I met him at another event too. He was cool. Yeah. I'm sure we just maybe wouldn't see eye to eye on how the event was being run. Yeah. And the more people you put in anything like that who have ideas, it doesn't run as well. So at the end of the day, for me, I was happy that he disengaged when he called me and said, "I'm going to pull away." I said, "No problem," because for me, two of us trying to deal with stuff, and he had his own opinions. It would have been harder for him and myself. Yeah. So I was happy with the result. He probably was too. I'm not happy with the whole FAW type thing, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's just I'm mentioning it, I guess. And
yeah. There was a lot of talk about it a long way, and the whole thing about it's a racist group and all that. There's a couple bad apples in there. You probably know who they are, which bring a bad stigma. But I think it's unfair to say that it's a racist group per se.
I don't.
That's way above the line. Yeah.
And I made a quick video about this, and a few people that were saying I was being asked by saying what I said. I don't think so.
No, it's not.
I think it's it's an uncensored group. People can do whatever you want, right? And then if people say things that other people don't like, it's now you know who those people are. Yeah, right? That's how I kind of see it. And at the end of the day, everybody who showed up in person nobody was doing the things that they were
it's
saying.
not. And I always tell people like a couple things. One is the chat and the event are way different. The chat has some characters in there and things are going to be said, but when you come in person, it's not like that. It's
no.
And, no one's getting shot, no one's getting stabbed, no one's getting punched, no one's getting called the whatever word you want to say. Everyone's cool.
Yeah.
But the chat is a different animal. I'm not gonna lie, the chat is a whole different animal. That is what it is. I mean, it's a different thing. But people who've been around long enough know that. But when you come in from the outside, you say, "Oh, this is weird." But but now you know like the different mindset is.
Well, I've been in and out of that, right?
Yeah.
Like the first couple times when it got shut down, like I think I was one of the first people that would join. I was in there like early on when there was almost nobody. And then there was characters like Grant, right?
Yeah.
Who was like, he owes me $40, by the way.
Oh, Grant, where are you at?
Yeah, you owe me $40, Grant. You owe me $40, don't forget.
Pay up.
But, yeah, we get guys like him. He's a character, right? Actually, it would have been fun to get him out, too. Like,
I actually thought about it one time before. I thought about doing a GoFundMe to raise money to get him here. And people said they would have done it, but he wasn't going to come. He was like, anti. But he's like a grip training guy now. He has all these like crazy grips.
Oh, so he's not arm wrestling only.
No, but he has grip stuff where he's picking up, things with his hands and his fingers.
Oh, okay, yeah. But you know what? I do know some guys that are into like the grip stuff. It translates. Yeah. It translates to arm wrestling.
Yeah, I'm sure you can squeeze your hand real hard, and I'm sure there's other value with maybe your fingers and things like that.
Yeah. Well, it's like preventing guys from slipping. When you get a hold of like one of their fingers, like just like this, and you're still able to like. Yeah. When
they're like half on, you can take them down like that.
Exactly. But yeah, I think maybe that's the thing to do. Is even if he's doing the grip stuff, maybe one of the future AWU events do like a. What do you call it? Like a Legends event, you get all these old school weirdos together, and
Yeah, I mean, in this year we're supposed to have like a strict curl contest. The guy backed out last minute, so there were some other strength type things we are going to do there. They didn't work out, but I think that's what you almost need now going forward. Like if I did it again, I always like recalculate everything. I did lessons learned. Is I would have a little more things to capture, not just arm wrestlers. So it was a very arm wrestling specific audience. You have a lot of one was the ring, but it'd be good to have. Outside people, you do curls, okay, Oh, you got arm wrestling too, they get brought in through other angles. Yeah, like me talking about I got in through powerlifting or MMA or something like that. Yeah.
Well, there was a few people there that I ran into that they were not from the event. I guess they were just passing by and just kind of decided to check it out. Cool. That was before the crazy rain, obviously. Yeah. I don't think many people were willing.
No, there was no one after a certain point in time that was done from that standpoint.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
It was. It would pour and then stop and then pour. But I don't know how late you were there. But when I left, the water was like half up to my ankles.
Oh yeah, people were taking their shoes off.
Yeah, it was like I've been about to be underwater pretty much. So
yeah, like I know to get to my car, it was I would say minimum 4 inches probably of water like throughout the whole parking lot. And then when I left there and driving back, I saw 2-3 cars that were like stuck in like water. Actually, that was when I went to meet up with the other guys at the after party. Like, so driving there, I kind of took a little bit of a back way because I wanted to get food and stuff too. And yeah, there was cars in parking lots. People were trying to get them out, but they were flooded out, I guess.
Yeah, when I left, the middle of the venue, which is probably the highest point, was like underwater. Whereas when I first was kind of walking out, it was only way out. We had water, so the water would come all the way up in there. So it's almost like a flood was coming to take the whole place under.
Yeah.
Like you're in a sinking ship almost, right? Like we got to get out of there. But
yeah, well, there was a couple of roads that I went by. You'd see cars like driving through it, and they'd like go under, like they're under by like a foot at least.
Doesn't take much. I mean, you get that water like up to your fender, you're in big trouble pretty soon.
So is that like regular Texas weather? Or just
we had great weather for 3-4 weeks before this event, and historically last year's has been great. So I was thinking yes, and of course this year we'll get a snag, but last year was just perfect. So but you can't predict weather, so I think next time I'd take it inside to avoid that. Just one less variable, one less thing to worry about and be concerned.
Yeah. But I think the nice thing about having the outdoor venue though is that people can see it that are just kind of passing by, right? Not necessarily having to go in a building to kind of
people can smoke and they can do all that kind of stuff they don't have to worry about there. The venue in that sense was great because pretty much everything's unrestricted there. Yeah, uncensored, I should say.
Yeah.
But back to your point about the uncensored thing is I've seen uncensored become a good thing, but there's a line where it becomes a bad thing. And if you start putting rules in place, you lose the diehards. It's like, I joined because it's uncensored. Well, okay, but now we're going too far. So they leave if you cut back. And then the guys, if you don't do anything, when it gets too bad, they leave. So it's like, there's like a sweet spot and you have to kind of hover there. But the other part of me is like, it was started for a reason. There's only a few bad apples who really push it beyond the limit, right?
Yeah. But I think, like, I agree with that, though. Like, having, like getting the racism stuff out of there.
That's got to go.
That's
easy one.
Yeah, and then maybe like death threats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
No, that's too much. No, I agree with you. And the other one was talking about people's wife, kids, family. The other one, like those three to me are the big ones.
Yeah.
But again, there's only a couple people who really push those boundaries.
Yeah.
There's only 95% of guys follow the rules. It's what it is. So.
Yeah, I don't know, but if you're like, do you plan on still doing events like moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, every year this happens. It's like this. I have the same cycle. It's like event. Load everything, chill out. It's Christmas time. It's Thanksgiving. Disconnect. Get out of the chat because like my brain, I'm not going to spend all the time in the chat, and then I'll get brought back in probably in May. Hey, when's the next? Okay, we'll see. Okay, I'll help you out with the event. So to answer your question, as of right now, I'm sure there'll be another one.
Yeah.
But my mind is not in the headspace to think about another one right now.
Yeah, like right now you're just like, I just want to get away from
this. Yeah, like to me, because I don't even really arm wrestle that much, but other guys are like, when's the next one? Because they love, they had a great time. Like, I want to do more of this. So you got to have like a balance. And I think if you do it annually, it doesn't burn out the promoter, and also from the cost stand and everything, and also doesn't burn out people like who won't want to come. Because if it's annually, they're like, oh, I'll wait for this. The whole thing with Winter Blast in '98, like if it's once a year, guys, like I'm taking my money for that.
Yeah.
If I do it it's like UFC. Remember the UFC used to be like every 6 months?
Yeah,
now it's every weekend. Every week is UFC, which it kind of loses the appeal to some, but for me, like I'd rather save my money up and do something big like you did. Spend a lot of money to come here.
Yeah.
But if I did another one in 3 months, you'd be like, no, I can't come again.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go back to only getting local guys who come, and then it's more of a local event.
Yeah.
They already have local events. And to me, part of the fun of it is having guys come who are not just like local. It's the guys who are in the chat. Like I look most forward to the guys who are active. They don't see that very often. Like, oh, I hope this guy comes to the show. I hope this guy comes because I don't see them that much. But I can see the other guys all the time if I wanted to, right?
Yeah. I would say probably close to half the guys came from other places.
Yeah, there's a lot. This year was a ton of non-Texans. I mean, it's probably, I bet it's almost equal if you think about how many guys competed that were not Texans. So Louisiana, Mississippi, Canada, there's probably some Florida, Alice from Florida. That to me is more exciting than just the local practice guys. So we can do that. I can set that up tomorrow. I can be like, don't have a big super match event. Yeah. I can get all the Austin and Ryan and Matt and Kev and all these guys will just show up. Waylon. We could do that, but it's not the same to me.
Yeah. I'd like to pull Austin again at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe in like 6 months.
He's only going to go up though, so you got to definitely level up.
Oh no, it's true, but I think you know what? It was actually really good that I went.
Yeah.
Because that match with him, it made me realize there's a couple things that I really have to fix.
So what are those takeaways for you? Like if you were to...
I have to do more ready goes.
Ready goes, okay.
I have to do more ready goes and then just focus on that.
Yeah.
Because that was the part that killed me. Like he was just
waiting. So every time you were on the losing side every time after going.
Yeah, I caught him a couple times. Mm-hmm. And I did catch him one and I was able to bring him over. But I think that's when he pulled his elbow up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he got out of it.
Yeah, these guys, this ones have been a while, they know that trick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm losing, whoop. And then
well, that's the thing. He's just better arm wrestler at the end of the day. But I think there's a couple things that I could fix, and that would make it more interesting.
Yeah, Austin and I pretty much started at the same time at Ryan Carter's house.
Yeah.
He was like 118 pounds at the time, and he could curl a lot of weight, but he knew nothing about arm wrestling.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys, and there's a couple guys like this where they find something they like, and they just all in, train like maniacs, learn everything, and the learning curve for them is just like this, right?
Yeah.
Because they absorb everything, and they're already smart guys. But those are the most dangerous opponents too, because I don't think he's been training as hard as he was before, but he's strong. He knows he's all the knowledge, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And
high table IQ.
Yeah, super high table IQ. Because my whole plan going in, and again, I don't know if somebody leaked it to him or if he just figured it out as we're going, but my whole plan was to start tiring him out in the setup and putting pressure in different ways and tying out his fingers. But he wouldn't hold, and I've watched footage where he holds on in previous matches, but then in ours he just didn't hold on, he just went limp until it was time to get ready to go. And I'm like, this is not what I expected at all.
He told me a while back that he said guys that rip apart the setup, he doesn't do that anymore. So I think he just learned over time not to do that, right? Like when I first arm wrestled last time, I mean not this event, but I was like squeezing as hard as I could, and guys grabbing my hand where it's almost purple, like they grab so hard they're like. But the other guys are just so loose up there. Just boom and then boom.
No, I like it when guys really squeeze because there's things you can do from there, right?
Manipulation, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But I never really did that because I don't have a strong grip. Mm-hmm. Most of my strength comes from below the wrist. Mm-hmm. But when you hold on, I guess there's an advantage to it if you're able to squeeze so hard and you're a lot stronger than the other person that you cannot let them escape, right? But realistically, like if somebody wants to slip and they're practicing how to slip, they're probably gonna slip, right?
Yeah, I pulled Paul Hicks last time. He's from Arkansas. He got a super strong hand. And we said, when we were in the setup, I mean, he was gripping me so hard because I was better in the strap. I mean, I could not even get my hand anywhere out of there, but he was like latching on so hard. I mean, some of these guys, when they grip your hand like that, you can't even get it out of there. Super strong.
But yeah, even when you can't get it, so like I think it was the Ottawa Open last year, I was against a guy that was doing that, was just squeezing so hard, it was like making my hand like purple, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, if he's holding on like that, I'm just going to go for a press. And with no strap, the guy just held on my fingers, and he held on all the way down to it. So he's like looking at me, he's looking at the ref, he's like, really? And Evan was the ref, he's like, that's a pin, dude.
I guess there are strategies you can do if guys do that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because you can, like, especially if you get started out of the gate and you get your shoulder behind, if they're squeezing on, they're just holding, and they let you take, like if you would have let go, like that, depending on the rule set, it might have been a foul on my side, right? Because a lot of times they call fouls if you're slipping underneath, but because he held on to it, he just went all the way down.
It's clever.
Yeah, but the actually, and I like that was one of the rule changes you guys had is the no intentional slip rule.
That must have been as an IFA. Cody Bird and the refs did all that, and I think they did a good job. I mean, of course, you had people who watched after on the streams. Oh, they missed this and this, that. Overall, there wasn't anybody really complaining, from my eyes, about refs the whole event.
No, I think it was good.
I think they did a good job.
Yeah.
And they were both non-Texas refs, which was weird. That's typically we have a Texas refs, but Cody Bird was Mississippi, and what's his name? Christian Moore, I think it was Louisiana. So.
Okay.
State.
How far away is that from?
That's they're a while. I think Cody Bird was like 8 hours, and Christian Moore probably 5 or 6 hours too.
Okay, so still somewhat
closer, but they're not local, like down the street where we can grab some guys. And a lot of guys want certified refs if they're spending, some guys betting $500. They don't want to have Joe Blow up there. Hey, you ref my match. I'm like, I think I know what to do, right? So
it's definitely good to have. In my opinion. It's good to have refs that will maybe let a little bit more go, right?
Are they pretty strict for the day? What you saw?
I thought they were good, actually. Yeah. I thought there was some times that there were a little, like, micro fouls, and the refs just kind of let it go, which in my opinion is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're like, just a little bit off the elbow pad, and it doesn't really make a difference in the match, like, just let it go.
Just like a slide, like a teeny bit, like...
I think so. If you're off and back on again because you corrected yourself, like, in my opinion, like, that's fine, right? But I've competed in some events where I don't even think my elbow left the pad, and they're calling elbow foul. So it's like my elbow's like at the edge of the pad, maybe it's like peeking over, and they're calling. It's like,
that's a bit much.
So it's I feel like to have the referee be a little bit loose and just kind of more in favor of the continuation of the matches. I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because people want to see the excitement. I don't like watching. Like the Ryan Carter and Danny match was good, but I don't like all the stops and the resets. And like for me, as just a fan, I'm like, and I think we talk about this all the time on these podcasts now, is people want to watch arm wrestling. They don't want to watch all the pauses, all the breaks, all the resets. Now, I was watching some of the East versus West back the other night, and it's like fast forward, through all this stuff. Like I want to get to like the matches. I don't want to watch all this like other stuff. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that have you ever played on a MAC table before?
I have not. No.
Okay, it'd be cool to get a MAC table down here one of these days.
Because there's not many things that happen, like not elbow fouls and all that.
Well, you can still elbow foul.
Yeah,
but it's a lot harder too, right? Yeah, because the pads are sunken in, and the setup is a little bit different. So like the setup is not as strict. It's like if one guy wants to like angle in a little bit and maybe get a shoulder in a little bit, they're just a bit looser on the way that the setups are, and you have to get your own grip essentially, right? There is a ref's grip as well, and if both guys want to start, like if the match go to straps, it's like everything's straps now. So if like after the first, if there's the first one, it's all straps now, right? So there's a couple of rule changes like that kind of just speed up the matches, because usually if guys slip on the first round, they're probably going to you see it all the time.
Yeah. It's like they both want to, and I think some of the matches, I think at the event even said you want to start with the straps because they already knew that.
Yeah.
I figured did it, but some of the guys will say that. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Not waste time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and some of you have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe we have a rule too that if guys want to start in a hook, then we'll let them start in a hook as well, right?
So Palmer, who didn't come, was supposed to start in a hook with Matt Frazier, strapped in a hook, which I've never seen that happen. Like, put the strap on, get in a hook, and then say go. But I guess some people will do that.
Right? Yeah. Matt Frazier. Okay, Yeah, his hook's really strong.
Yeah, it's really strong. Yeah, There's a lot of build. We didn't talk about it, but there's tons of money on the line with Palmer and all these matches.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to make a whole lot of money if he did not beat Matt Frazier, which he learned at Austin's super match he had a couple weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
He had no shot against Frazier, and then he just said, "This is not good."
So that's why he didn't show up?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was already over arm wrestling per se, but he knew he had to make weight, all these things, and there's too many variables to overcome.
Yeah.
But he felt Matt's hook, and he knew that was his demise.
Yeah, no go.
And the thing is, these guys, as much as they want, they sometimes do things beforehand and learn information before the event. Like I said, maybe they pull on Friday night, and they're like, oh crap, like I have no shot now because I felt you, or I pulled this guy 2 weeks ago, and now I know, which to me takes away some of the fun because it's like, let's wait until the day of and find out, not give away the. Because Austin pulled Drew Pickering, and they have a super match in like a couple of weeks, but now they already have kind of information.
Yeah.
They can adjust, but the result may not change much, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I sandbagged like crazy on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you probably should. They're saying, they don't want to give guys too much information.
Because even Austin, because we went right. My right was a little bit injured.
Yeah.
But I was maybe going like 50%. Mm-hmm. And even Austin afterwards was like, hey man, like you're right. Your left is stronger than that, right? And I was like, oh, a little bit. And he's like, looking at me. He's like, you sure? I was like, don't worry about it. Like we're good. We'll be fine.
No, I think that's smarter to do those type of things because it makes it more exciting too. Like I want to watch something that I don't know the outcome to, right? Like that's the whole point of this. Yeah,
and it's interesting because even in the after polls there's a lot of guys that like I would have thought were like way above or below where I'm at, and then you kind of find out you're like, no, you're actually pretty close depending on where things go. But like I said, I have to fix a couple things.
If you could reset this whole thing and come back, who would you have pulled now that for good matches? Like who do you think would be? Pulled? Yeah, like calibrated better with. I'm not saying Austin wasn't a good one, but who else did you see that you maybe touched arms with?
I think Clinton would be a good match.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit above me still.
Which arm, right or left?
Well, again, my right was injured. But like, if my right's good, whatever, either one works. But left arm, for sure.
Left arm would be a good one. I would agree with that.
Yeah, because I think he's above me, but I think there's ways that I can. There's holes there that I can.
Seth Corley, I don't know if you pulled him. That might be a good one. He had a red shirt on. He's 198-ish pounds. I talked to him. Yeah, and he pulled Austin. I think he pulled Austin right arm. He beat Austin right, but he would have been probably a decent match as well. But it's hard to gauge because we didn't know much about you, and we just give you this guy, whatever. But I think Austin still was a good match regardless. Cause,
I gave myself about a 10% chance, and I wasn't really. I was kind of joking when I said it, but it was realistic because I knew that if I could get him in a hook and out of the start, I feel like then I'm good to go.
Did you guys hook afterwards at all? Like in after polls, if it felt better, once you get that spot,
if I was able to get him in a hook, I think that I had it.
Really,
but it's a matter of like
getting all the variables. Yeah,
and I've struggled with that for a long time. Like, if guys want to go on a hook with me, awesome, that's great. But guys that really avoid it and that are fast out of the gate, I have a hard time.
Yeah, that's the thing is they always say practice polls or after polls aren't the same as actual matches and. I after pulled the guy who beat me at AWU3, and I actually did pretty good with him. But once I got a cup and all this, it was better. But until I got that, it was nothing, right? Because he could keep me out of there. Well, crap, if I can get my cup, then he could bring me across. So as long as you can't get to your spot, then, so it's much harder.
Yeah, no, it's way different. Like the adding in the ready goes, it changes things completely. Because you have guys that might not quite be as strong, but just because they're set up and they're quicker out of the gate, just the fact that they can get you from here to here before you engage, it's a pretty big advantage, especially if they're able to. If they have a press. That's the thing with Austin too. Is he's got a really fast, really good top press, and he's got a really good press on top of that, right? So it's and those are two things he's able to lock in super quick out of the gate. Because he pressed me last round, I was like,
he's watching that ref
oh yeah,
it's quick.
Got it, yeah.
But I mean, Yak was another one. Yak pulled Albert Ding, and he said he's just too fast. Like his setup and everything was just so fast.
Albert's really good.
Yeah. So once he had Yak, I mean, Yak's arm was already here by the time he could engage anything. Right, it was on the losing side. So some of those guys are just been training, like you said, for the ready go really well.
But no, I think if I could make my own matches, I feel I think Clinton would be one.
Yeah.
I would still like to pull Austin again, regardless.
How about right hand if it was healthy? Like, who did you do when you felt or thought?
Again, hard to say because I can't get a good gauge on
maybe Harlan or
maybe I didn't pull Harlan at all. Well, I would honestly I'll do whatever. I don't care.
Even Pickering both arms because he's pretty balance, I'd say, both arms. So he's pretty solid both.
Yeah, and he's a grinder too.
Yeah, he is.
So I feel like he would just be a fun guy.
Good energy too. Like makes noise, yells. Like he's exciting in those matches.
And
fun opponent.
And I would like to do Popeye Senior left arm and Popeye Junior right.
I always think that would be fun. Like pull the whole family. Like that's a good story.
Yeah, there you go. I would like to get revenge. I just want revenge. I want a vengeance tour.
That's what Nunya did last time. He pulled the son, and then he called out the father for this event. So it keeps a good story. Like I beat your son, I'm going for your dad, and then now if you know, Wiggles beat Tucker Keating's father.
Okay,
And then he said, "I'm coming back to be his son next." So that storyline is a good storyline. It's good promotion too. If you're a promoter, like that's a good sell. Like you defeated the father, the son. Now you come for the next one. I'm taking the whole family down, and people like that. At least I like that story.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Exactly. Like I beat you, and I'm coming for you next. And after I beat you, I'm coming for the next one. And that's what Wiggles' whole thing is. I took out this person. I'm coming for this. I'm taking it over to Texas. Then I'm coming for Robbie Burnett. And I'm coming for the whole climb of Texas. I'm going to take down. Yeah.
So do you know when Andrew wants to do the Nova Scotia?
So he was talking about. I think in the next 6 months. But he said the good thing for him is he has a good club up there. Mm-hmm. And he said they like the idea of uncensored in terms of not the three things we talked about. But all the other stuff, they like shit talk, they like all the other stuff. So I can get refs, I can get guys, and he said he wants to have Dave Shell versus Damon be one of the main matches.
Okay.
For males, and he said there's a couple of matches that didn't happen that he could probably get up there, plus some other card. But it's not hard to have a super match series if you want to just have guys pull. It's just all the extra stuff you want to add on. Bringing Alex top rope, have a band, have this. Like that's where it gets expensive. But just to have an event, it's not that hard to have.
Well, that's the thing. Do you mind talking about money?
No, I don't mind at all. No.
So for like an average like AWU event, like how much money are you out of pocket?
Yeah. So again, if you collect all the super match fees, 40 matches, $50, you should get $2,000, which is your budget now. Refs. $300 plus down, $450 for refs plus hotels. I had hotel points, that doesn't cost me anything. Yeah. So a quarter of the budget is refs. You pay the MC, which was Dez, $100 something bucks. Then you pay for the band, which was my $300. Medals was $400. Mm-hmm. So we eats the whole budget up by the time you're done. Yeah. It's just all the extra stuff I start adding on, like, let me add this in. Let me give booze away. Like that's not part of the budget. Yeah. So I'd say at the end of the day, you usually lose a little bit. But I can do where I can make money, but I don't want to run a crappy event. So that's my whole thing is I would rather lose some and have a better event than make money and have a crappy event. Because then people don't want to come back like, I went to an event, it was just arm wrestling, that was it. Yeah. Or you have to find another way with sponsors, or you have to raise fees.
Or tournament.
You have to find another way to do things. Yeah. But historically, it's never been a money maker for me. I'm sure if I was making money, I'd be more motivated too. So it's like a balance of, you lost money, you did all this work, like, are you motivated? But
it's I would say most super match events, big or small, a lot of them don't make money. Yeah. A lot of them lose. And some of them lose a lot. Yeah. Which is unfortunate. But it's all about trying to find all those other little ways that you can make revenue. Like through like I find like tournaments usually do pretty well. Yeah. So if you tournament, you can kind of make a little bit of money. But it's hard to do a tournament and super matches. Right, because now you have to do the super matches first, and then tournament after, and then things just drag on forever.
I think I could have made money if I raised the fees, but I don't like to have it where guys don't want to come now because it's so expensive. Yeah. Or I would have to go look for sponsors myself. I've done that 1 year. I made $2,500 in sponsors. It was a lot of work. I had to contact people all the time. Yeah. So that'd be probably the best way to do it is keep the event the way it is, get sponsors, and then heighten the event with the sponsors. If I did it again, that's what I would do. Yeah. And I would try to find sponsors myself or see if someone would help me with that. But I do a lot of it myself. Like that's the thing is some of these big organizations have like 5-6 people who do all this. I'm pretty much the one-man band for the most part. And, and it's fun for me, but it also makes it a lot of work.
It's stressful, man.
It's a lot of work. Like, okay, the sponsors, I get all the live stream, I got to do this, I got to do that, get the band. But I have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's like a fun social thing for me. Yeah. So it's not like I would do this just if I didn't like it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it's cool. I think it's great. I think, if we're able to get one in Canada going, in 6 months, like in Nova Scotia, like I'm already looking for a reason to go down there because I have some friends down there.
Yeah, get a super match in that one. And
100%, yeah. If he has it in 6 months, I'm there.
Yeah, and for me, what I would do is I'll tell Yak, I'll help you with flyers, I'll help you, give you all my t-shirt contact, I'll give you all my stuff I have, and you can just leverage that stuff for yourself if you want to do it. I think that's how you better build this is you have leads do this stuff, and then you just help them with the playbook. Yeah. Like, here's what I did for this, and here's my sheet I did for this, and all my templates for everything. Like plug and play it.
And I think now that you guys are doing the podcast more often and whatnot, I feel like having the guys that have matches, book them in weeks leading up to it, and just have them talk some shit and kind of get that going. Because I know that's one of the things we talked about doing with Mac, which hopefully we'll have time to do between now and December.
Yep.
But I'm doing all kinds of stuff, getting ready for that, and Ian's doing all his stuff, and we have guys like JJ and Andrew. They're all doing things already, and it compresses, right? The closer the time to get to the event, you start to have to toss things out, unfortunately.
To me, the build up is what's most exciting part of the whole thing. Like, I love watching all the shit talk and people fighting, and then the event happens, and that's like the culmination. But if it didn't have all that like build up, I wouldn't be as into it. Like, I love all that stuff. Like, even like the Paul Italian Nunya stuff had great build up. Like,
it was hilarious.
Yeah, like so much of that.
People were putting highlight reels videos together.
I was like tuned into that match, whether they be the best arm wrestlers or not. Like, I love that. So I want to see more of that, and I think it's what people need to get involved. Really invest in.
Yeah, I think so. And I think even though the guys that are competing are maybe not the crazy elite level, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys in that chat. They're just interesting people.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, fun guys to kind of watch and see. Yeah. And like I said, Little Pop is a unique guy. At the end of the day, he wants to grow the sport, but he'll say wild stuff and get teased and made fun of. But everyone's like piling on him because they want to see him lose now. Like he's a guy you want to see lose. And so anyway, like to me, I love that stuff.
You got to go, or
I got about 5 more minutes.
You got 2 more minutes.
5 minutes. We get 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess one last question.
Yeah.
So outside of arm wrestling,
yes,
who is DJ Cotlow?
Yeah, so I'm a father. I have a wife and 2 kids. I play in a band, so that's my next thing. Is I'll probably park the arm wrestling and go back to music. So we have a gig in a month. I got to start practicing again. I love sports. I love working out, hanging out with buddies. But I say like now I'm at this point in my life where I'm kind of like my kids have become the priority. So this is like me. Give me some of my time, like arm wrestling.
Well, you're not that old, right?
I'm 44.
44. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so to me, like my kids in my life, like soccer, everything is like that part of invested in that. So to me, I like to do music, like arm wrestling. I like all these other things for myself. But I'm a white collar guy who works at a big company and has fun sometimes just hanging out with other people. And sometimes people in this community are real down to earth and nice, and I like that aspect of it. Like I like meeting people who are real. Sometimes when you're where I am, you run into a lot of not real people, and so to me, I like this aspect.
In the business world.
Yeah, not in the business world, but like where I live in predominantly it's a nice neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
You have a lot of people who are very well off, and sometimes they're not always real. Where I feel is in the arm wrestling community, people are more blue collar and they're more real. Like just talking to people, they're just more honest and open. So I'm drawn to that aspect too. It might sound kind of weird, but I like that it's like real people.
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm saying, or yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I find like I've worked a lot in like the startup world. We're going to like business conferences and stuff where like everybody's got the whole like fake it till they make it attitude.
Yeah.
Right. So you feel these guys are talking like they're millionaires. Meanwhile, like it's just chaos behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? Like every startup, everybody's always pretending like everything's great. Meanwhile, there's just everything blowing up and there's fires everywhere. You're like, oh, it's fine. Shh, everything's good.
But a lot of arm wrestling people are like down to earth, real people. They come from, they work hard.
Yeah.
They don't always have a lot of money and things like that, but they're good people. And I like that aspect of it. Whereas sometimes on the other side, when you have people who are very affluent, sometimes they're not real. They're like fake to you, or they're not being their true self. So I'm like, I don't really like that aspect. So I enjoy the community in that sense. But I'm just a normal guy that I find a lot of things I like to dabble in.
Yeah.
I'll probably find some new hobby in the next 6 months that I like. It'll be something brand new, and I'll probably take that. And because we didn't even talk about tickets, but I replicated the ticket business, the arm wrestling business when I did the ticket business. I started a big ticket group, Facebook group, grew it into this big thing. So I plug and play one model with the other model. So I've done this arm wrestling thing before already in the ticket world.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. So when you guys did the podcast, and you guys were doing the ticket stuff, and talking about it, I was actually tuning into that. I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people in tickets like I do in arm wrestling because I did all that for over 10 years.
Well, you were even bringing people from the ticket chat into the arm wrestling chat.
I was. So I've done that. So maybe I'll plug and play the model again into something next, whatever that next thing is. I don't know. But I've already created the playbook in my head of how it all works. So I did shirts for T-shirts. I knew all the CEOs of these big companies. We did it all before, so it's just it's like they say in a lot of businesses. Once you can create it one time, you can plug and play it again.
For sure, yeah. Especially if you have a bit of financial backing now from the previous ones that you can roll over into the next and kind of snowball it. Right?
The only thing about arm wrestling, in my opinion, is that, at least from what I've done, is it's not very profitable. It probably could be a little bit if you scaled it down, but my mindset's never like that. I want to do things halfway, but it's not very profitable. You don't do it for money.
I know.
You do it because you like something about it, whatever that thing is, right?
Yeah, I think in arm wrestling in general, like there's very few people that are making like real money, right? There's people that are able to kind of do it as a living and kind of do it to like complement the regular jobs by making a little bit of money on the side.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to make it like
at least today, right?
Right. And I think it's growing, and I think there's because you're seeing things like East versus West and what Core Sports is doing.
Knuckles Up,
and Knuckles Up especially, because they're locally here, right? It's getting there. But I feel like there's still some pieces missing for it to like really, really go mainstream. So
and there's probably people who are investing now, hoping for that boom, like the Knuckles Up all these places.
Yeah.
Will it happen? I'm not optimistic today, but the sport I bet today versus 2 years ago was just immensely grown.
Well, it's way different.
Yeah, it's way different.
I mean,
when East versus West has exploded, like think about when was the first one? A couple years ago. Like, I mean, that's 15 of them now. So the sky is the limit. And if you're in early, you might have good things happen. But as of today, it's hard to think about it as a money thing. At least my point, right?
But I think things like AWU and other like promotions that are doing like not like targeting that top echelons of pullers that are targeting like everyone else. I feel like there's more opportunities in that space.
I agree.
Because like the people that are targeting just the elite guys, there's only a handful of elite guys, right? Like you're running out of those. I'm not gonna say you're running out of them, but there's obviously a lot of guys there. But you're picking from a very small pool, and because those guys, certain companies are paying, or promotions are paying now and getting guys under contract, those guys are completely locked down now,
that's
right?
a good point,
So because the money's not there like the UFC, you're not going to get one of these premier arm wrestling leagues that have a roster of 1,000 guys. It's just not going to happen, right? So I feel like that middle ground, I think there's a lot of guys there that are super cool, super entertaining, and it's like they're still good arm wrestlers. They're still like pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not all juiced up to be able to compete.
And I think the other thing I see is how do you keep guys in the sport long term? Because what I've seen at every AWU is a lot of guys drop after they start in arm wrestling. Boom, they're done after 6 months or a year. Either an injury or they don't have time, whatever it may be. But there would be guys in 6 months. I'll look back at AWU 5 and they don't even be arm wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
Whoever those guys are, I don't know yet, but it happens every year.
Unfortunately, that's combat sports.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's probably since across the board, right?
Yeah.
Injuries, something happens, life. So.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
Thanks, man.
It's great having you.
Yeah. Thanks, Thanks, Dan. Hope you enjoyed the show. And
it's nice to get a little bit of behind the scenes of the enemy of the sport.
Yeah, the enemy, right? Hope I made a few fans this weekend, but I don't mind being the enemy either. It's sometimes good. It gets people riled up and talking.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think you did good, man. No, it was great. Honestly,
nice to
meet you, man. I'm glad you're there.